Hey everyone, and welcome back to Crystalline. It's a lot happened in the last episode, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I love a good pop culture reference, bunches of next guy and girl, but when you actually have the characters from Breaking Bad becoming a villain in the story, that kind of ruins the immersion. I'm sorry, but it's just me. Just, it's how I feel. But let's just jump right into it and see how the shit goes. By the time we finish up our meals, Kara returns.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I met up with my contact and he came through. He said that there's some adventurer who's been talking about one of those high concentrations of energy. He's at Hearth Point right now, but probably won't be staying for too long. We should head there in the morning and see what he knows.
What's the guy's name?
Arton Hunt.
Zach shrugs. I guess he doesn't know him.
It might sound like just a rumor, but there's always a grain of truth in a rumor. At the very least, we should be able to get a clue or two.
Liana nods.
Okay, tomorrow we'll head for Hearth Point.
Amelia nods. I yawn widely. Tonight, though, I'm ready for bed. The team murmurs their agreement and we all turn in early. It's been a long day. And that fight really took it out of me. After getting ready, I climb into bed and immediately fall into a deep sleep. Gotta rack in those XP points. I've been playing Final Fantasy 15 lately, so if you know what I mean. The next morning, I wake up with a wide yawn. My body aches from the fight, but otherwise I feel very rested. I gather my things and meet the group downstairs for a quick breakfast. Then we begin our journey to Hearth Point. After traveling all morning, we decide to stop and rest for a while. The sun shines overhead in the sky, and there's a soft breeze to balance out the warmth of the day. Zach claims a spot in the shade of a tree where he cleans out his discharges, and Amelia and Kara rummage through the packs to pass around water. Liana approaches me.
Since we're taking a break, would you be up for some magic training? We can go into the clearing so you aren't just out on the open road.
I grin. You know, if you wanted to be alone with me, you only had to ask. Liana blinks.
I did ask.
Well, she got me there. Yes, then I'd love to be alone with you. She looks a bit uncertain.
Train for magic.
Yes. She smiles. I follow her to a little alcove on the path, where far enough that passers-by won't get a good view of me, but not far enough to where we lose sight of the rest of the team.
The actual process is a bit tricky. You have to channel the energy out of the crystal, then concentrate on the process of shaping it, refining the energy into something you can use. So to do that, you need to concentrate on the crystal's form and use your mind to alter it.
I'm not sure I got all that. She pauses to think.
Okay, you have a manipulator now, so instead of trying to channel the energy from stored within you, try to concentrate on channeling through the manipulator.
I look down at the manipulator on my wrist. Alright, so I can channel the energy from this crystal.
Exactly, like this.
Liana holds out her manipulator. It pulses softly with a blue light, and then a small burst of wind erupts from her manipulator. Okay, I'll give it a go. I stare hard at my manipulator, trying to focus on the energy of the crystal. I scrunch my face in concentration, but nothing seems to work.
Just concentrate on the energy. Let go of your distractions.
Let go of my distractions. I try to clear my mind, but all I can think of is how nothing seems to be happening. It's not working.
That's okay. Keep trying. It's always hardest your first time.
I think, though, Liana's explanation again. Is there something I've missed? Try again. I concentrate, focusing on the energy, but nothing happens. This isn't working.
Don't give up. Try again. Just focus on that energy and use the manipulator to channel it.
I know you've said that before, but it doesn't make sense to me. Liana runs her hand through her hair as she frowns.
Don't know how else to put it. Once you get it, you'll know. You just have to keep concentrating and trying.
Well, we're at the 5-minute mark. Time to save. Because I don't trust this game. That's really not helpful, but I take a deep breath to calm myself down. It's not Liana's fault, and she's being very patient. Is it just me? Why am I not getting it? Liana hasn't given up on me, so I shouldn't give up on myself, either. I have to keep trying. My face flushes as I try to find the energy of the crystal, but I'm still unsuccessful. Liana looks concerned at the sweat beads on my temple.
Are you okay?
I sigh heavily. This is hopeless.
It just takes practice.
I can tell Liana wants to stay positive, but her words feel flat. This is taking a toll on her too. I don't know what else to do. She frowns as she thinks, then she shakes her head with a sigh.
How about we take a break for now? Maybe if you have a chance to think about it a little more, you'll have more success next time.
I half-heartedly shrug. Sure. I try to keep the skepticism out of my voice, but Liana seems just as skeptical as we return to the group. Kara, Zach, and Amelia are all ready for us when they get back. After I have my chance to rehydrate, I grab a quick bite to eat and continue on our way. The rest of our journey goes more smoothly than my training. As the sun dips low in the sky, we decide to rest for the night. After securing a well-covered area, we get to work setting up camp. Pretty. I like that. Liana disappears to gather firewood while Zach rummages through the supplies, prepping for dinner. Kara secures our perimeter. I roll out my sleeping roll, and Amelia does the same. As she sets her things down, the Pongo plushie from before falls into the grass. Amelia carefully rights it, then continues to unpack. The Pongo jiggles up to the plushie and greets it excitedly.
Boy.
Yeah, he thinks it's real. The plushie makes no reaction, but the Pongo is undeterred.
Boy.
Again, the plushie doesn't respond. The Pongo deflates and his face falls. Amelia furrows her brow, then subtly touches her manipulator. The Pongo plushie suddenly bobs to life as a thin layer of wool pulls underneath. Water pulls underneath. Amelia tries not to move her lips.
Boy.
The Pongo's eyes grow wide as he beams.
Boy.
The plushie bobs again and the Pongo squishes against it as if a hug. It's adorable. Amelia cracks a small smile, which disappears when she meets my gaze. She clears her throat and returns to fiddling with her things. She's secretly a softie. My heart warms as I watch her. She's not as cold as she would have people believe. I go help Liana find more kindle. When we return to the firewood, we get a fire started. Zach pulls out a simple pot and a few basic ingredients, then he gets to work. Soon the fragrance of cooked meat makes my mouth water. Kara wanders over to the fire.
That smells amazing. What is it?
She reaches for one of the skewers, but Zach's expression makes her pause.
It's not done yet.
She pouts and continues to eye the food. After some time, a very appetizing aroma fills the air. Zach removes the skewer from the fire and scoops porridge into bowls.
Alright, it's done.
He hands a bowl to each of us, then settles down as we dig in. I bite into the juicy meat and let the taste linger on my tongue. It's smoky and tender, a perfect barbecue. Kara savors the bite.
Oh, I didn't know camp food could taste this good.
I didn't know Zach could cook. Zach shrugs.
It's nothing special.
We've been doing this all wrong. No more rotating cooking duty. I vote we have Zach cook for us every night.
Zach turns his head away and lifts his hair to fall over his face.
You don't have to make a big deal out of this.
I second that vote. Seriously, Zach, I don't even know what this meat is, and I don't care because I want it in my belly. You are a man of many talents. Kara looks at Zach with a soft smile on her face. I think she's impressed.
That's weird, man.
What? No, dude, I stare at Zach, who intently focuses on me and completely unaware of Kara. This guy is pretty dense.
I wonder what other talents you're hiding.
Just as her boobs jiggle. He shrugs.
It's okay. I'll find them all out sooner or later.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Zach doesn't respond, but begins to gather the empty bowls.
Seriously, though, nobody's cooking can compare. Especially not mine.
Zach pauses.
I enjoyed it.
Kara blinks.
Really?
He offers a short nod.
It's not bad.
Zach looks up and greets her gaze. Kara grins wide and as a small blush creeps into her cheeks. Yes, finally, it's happening. This is my cue to leave. I quietly slip away and go sit down at the edge of the campsite. Liana sits down beside me with a small smile. I feel her hesitate before she speaks.
So, magic training today.
Yeah.
I know today wasn't quite what you expected, but after more practice you'll get it.
I know she's trying to be encouraging, but this is really the last thing I want to talk about. The thought of having to go through all this again fills me with dread. When do you think the next practice should be?
Honestly, every day.
I swallow the groan that threatens to come out, but I can't hold back my dismay. Every day? Liana forces a smile.
Casting is not easy, and it really takes as much practice as possible. With us traveling to the next temple, this is the best way to get you to learn quickly.
She looks away and sees her smile drop. Liana's clearly as excited about this as I am, but she's trying hard to pretend that that's not the case. I can respect that and appreciate that she's trying. Well, then I hope next time I'll be more productive than this time. Liana tries to sound more chipper than she is.
Like I said, nobody can cast their first time. It's something I had to work on for weeks before I was able to even manipulate a light breeze.
Actually hearing that even Liana had trouble is more comforting than I thought. She's just a talented caster now. That gives me hope, a bit of hope. I smiled genuinely. You're right. I'm sure with practice I'll get it. Liana's mood lifts and she returns my smile.
That's the spirit.
She's cute. Liana looks up at the sky.
We should probably get some rest. It's another early start tomorrow.
As Liana says that, I feel a yawn coming on. That sounds like a good idea. Yawn. That was a real yawn. Let's save. Because you never know when this game is just going to fuck me over. And crash randomly. The others are winding down too. Zach stays up to take the first watch. As Liana heads over to her bedroll, I crawl into mine and I try to ignore the hardness of the ground. Eventually, I fall asleep. We wake up in the morning and break down the camp, then resume our journey. After traveling for most of the day, we finally end up at Hearth Point. This is where our hunt is supposedly. I think I'm finally getting used to all this walking as my legs, although tired, don't feel sore.
We'll need to find this person quickly. Adventurers aren't known for sticking around in one spot for very long.
You know, since I don't have a thumbnail with Kara in it yet, let's just use if I don't get a CG by the end of this episode, I'm going to use this.
Let's not waste any time then.
Amelia nods.
I propose we begin our investigation at the taverns.
Actually, I like this one. The girls.
Taverns?
Yes, there are 2 taverns in Hearth Point. One over there,
She points to a building at the entrance.
and another one facing northeast from the second gate.
Kara seems a little surprised by how much Amelia knows about this town. She probably had to study the geography of Havengard and read about all the surrounding towns and villages.
We don't have too much daylight left.
He's right. The sun sets the sky ablaze as it dips closer to the horizon.
Let's split up. We'll be able to cover more ground that way. If one tavern is a dead end, then check the other. If he's not in either place, then we'll meet back here.
I concur with this plan. Any objections?
No one speaks up.
Then let us proceed.
Zach, Amelia, and Kara start heading towards the nearest tavern.
Wait!
They look back at us.
We didn't talk about how the group is being split.
Kara smirks.
I think it's quite obvious.
They're trying to set us up. Liana blinks at me and the group resumes walking.
What does that mean?
I'll play stupid. I shrug. Beats me. Very strange indeed. So, let's get going? Liana nods.
Ready when you are.
Playing stupid sometimes saves your ass. It's a brief walk through the town before we reach the place. As we push the door open, the warm smell of bread wafts through the air, bringing all its chorus of laughter. The tables are full of men and women sharing food and pints. This place has a cozy feel as we walk around. I feel comfortable and welcome.
So, Kara mentioned Arton has an eye patch.
She pauses as she glances at the patrons.
We should split up and see if we spot him.
I nod. Sounds like a plan. We separate and begin our search. I slowly walk around the tavern looking for anyone with an eye patch. As I begin to lose hope that he's here, I spot a man sitting alone. He's scribbling furiously in a notebook, but more importantly, an eye patch covers one eye. Finally, a lead. I hurry over to him. As I get close, I notice he's drawing a map. He stops and looks up at me.
What do you want?
His tone is gruff but doesn't seem hostile. Are you Arton Hunt? He sizes me up.
What of it?
I heard that you found an area of high energy. He continues to stare at me. I was wondering if you could share that information. He waves a hand dismissively.
It's not something to be shared.
I can pay you for it. He frowns.
You can't just buy the experience of discovery. Coins are merely a construct of human greed, and you need to absolve yourself of materialistic reliance to transcend.
Whatever that means. Will you at least tell me where it is? He glares at me.
I'd like to get back to my work, and you're taking up my time.
He taps his pen impatiently on the table.
Do you mind?
If it looks like I've annoyed the guy, I doubt he'll say anything now. Thanks anyway. I leave the man alone and search for Liana instead. I find her with the rest of our party and approach them.
Arden wasn't at the other tavern, but we heard that he's here.
He is. Everyone turns to face me.
Did you find him?
I nod. Yeah, he's back there. I point to the back tables. But he seems like he's not that sharing type. I even offered to pay and he still refused to talk. Liana's face falls and Amelia and Zach look discouraged. Only Kara remains optimistic.
Great, you've done the hard work for us.
Zach stares at her.
Did you just miss the part about how that guy won't talk even for money?
Finding the target is the difficult part. Getting information out of him is just a matter of being tactful.
Kara winks. Zach cracks his knuckles and grins.
I get you. We're finally on the same page.
I didn't mean beat the information out of him.
Zach frowns.
You just have to give him an appealing reason to loosen his lips.
Are you proposing to exploit his humanistic need to procreate with an attractive mate as a guise to extract the needed information?
If you mean flirt with him to find out what we need to know, then yes.
What a cunning method. I approve.
We all stare at Amelia. You do? She nods. That was unexpected.
Who shall be executing this plan?
Kara's idea. Kara's shrewd. Liana's too pure, and Amelia... I don't think Amelia knows how to flirt. Are you up for the job, Kara? Kara grins.
I thought you'd never ask.
She heads towards the target, swaying her hips alluringly. Liana looks on with amazement.
She turned it on just like that?
See, this is why I didn't pick Liana. She's adorable, she's attractive, but I don't think she knows how to use sex appeal. Seems like she's not the only thing she turned on. I shift my I shift my attention to Zach, who very obviously stares at Kara's derriere.
Zach!
Zach snaps back to reality, and his face flushes when he notices all of us looking.
What? I wasn't staring.
No accusation was made, yet your defensive disposition is quite revealing of your intent.
Zach coughs and crosses his arms as he looks away.
You're thinking too much into this.
He watches Kara work her magic. She engages Arden, and at one point she even gets him to laugh. She scoots closer to him and rests a hand on his arm. Things seem to be going well. As the conversation continues, Arden suddenly shakes his head and dismisses Kara. She tries to laugh it off, the dismissal, and re-engage him in the conversation, but he looks down at his page and continues drawing. Still stunned, she slowly makes her way back to us.
I don't understand.
Her eyes glaze over in disbelief.
It would appear Kara was unsuccessful.
Well, Amelia's the cold thinking one. Let me save. I mean, we could just do it Zach's way and beat the shit out of him. How about it, Amelia?
Wow.
What's wrong with you?
The fuck? What? Liana shoots me a disapproving look.
She's just a kid.
Fuck me. I forget she's 17! Kara folds her arms and looks at me just as disapproving as
I
Liana.
never thought you'd turn out to be such a creep.
Amelia blinks in surprise.
I believe you are mistaken about my age.
Amelia's words fall on deaf ears as the girls continue to give me a death's glares. Okay, maybe not Amelia. Let's try that again. Liana, then. Fuck, you're the only girl left. Liana looks surprised.
Me?
No, you're the only girl left. Kara masks a chuckle as Zack snickers. Liana frowns.
What's with that reaction?
Kara smiles.
Oh, don't get me wrong, you're cute, but I'm not sure you've got the personality needed for this type of thing.
Liana frowns.
And what's that supposed to mean?
You're a bit shy.
I can be plenty forward.
Kara and Zack burst out laughing.
As if you fared any better.
Kara's smile drops.
It's always worked before.
Liana looks at Amelia.
You think I can do it, right?
Amelia studies Liana.
I must admit that your propriety does not lend well to the suggestion that you could entice the desired sexual attention.
Liana crosses her arms and pouts.
Even you, Amelia?
Oh, okay. How about you show one of us what you've got? If you're successful, you can try.
Fine.
Kara points to me.
There's your target. What are you going to do?
Liana's cheeks tinge slightly as she meets my eye. I have a strange feeling in my stomach. I'm sure it's in your stomach, buddy. She takes a deep breath to gather her thoughts, then flashes me a determined look. She oversways her hips as she walks over to me. The movement is too exaggerated and makes her look like she doesn't know how to walk. She stammers, but she tries to speak almost as if her words elude her.
Hey there!
Yay! And I thought I had bad times at flirting.
Sailor?
I look at her blankly.
What?
What?
Despite having an attractive figure and aesthetically pleasing features, it is now abundantly clear why Liana has been unable to acquire a companion. Amelia!
At
This is
rate,
why I
the
chose
companion
Amelia.
she'll be acquiring is a house full of cats.
Zack nods in agreement.
You guys are so mean!
Liana pouts. I didn't think it was so bad. Liana shakes her head.
I'm only saying that to make me feel better.
Before I can say any more, Amelia speaks.
I believe we should nominate someone else.
Liana crosses her arms but doesn't protest. That's everyone then.
Regrettably, all of our options for this plan are exhausted.
What are we going to do now? Kara suddenly looks around.
Wait, where did Zach go?
We search frantically for him before spotting him beside Arden.
Oh no, we'll get in trouble with the city guards if he's...
To everyone's surprise, Arden's face is deep red as he coyly looks away. He giggles as his hands something to Zach. Zach accepts the parchment and nods at him, then heads out to us. Arden looks longingly at Zach retreating.
Here.
That's why Kara didn't work on him. Arden doesn't swing that way. He hands Kara the parchment. She opens it up and reveals a map of the neighboring forest. There's a Sinway path drawn to indicate where the pocket of energy is reading are. Kara looks from Zach to the map and back to Zach.
But how did you get this?
Zach shrugs. Kara continues to stare at Zach. This time, she seems less surprised and more impressed. At least we have what we need. I'm relieved that someone was able to get Arden to crack, but how did Zach pull it off? And without coming to blows, no less. I shake my head. I guess some mysteries will never be solved. That's not really a mystery there, though. I glance outside at the darkening sky. It's getting late. Do you think we should stay here for the night, or should we head out?
We wouldn't be able to make much progress. May as well spend the night here and get a fresh start in the morning.
Alright. Amelia stands.
Now that our business has concluded, I must take my leave.
Everyone stares at her.
Where are you going?
I have an obligation I must fulfill.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say it sounded like you're meeting someone.
You are correct. It will not take long, and I will be ready to rejoin you in the morning.
As Amelia turns to leave, Zach stops her.
Are you sure you should go alone?
Amelia raises an eyebrow.
Surely my parents would mean me no harm.
Oh!
Parents? Yes. They would be very upset if I were to pass through without visiting them. You have family here and didn't tell us? I did not see the relevance. Don't you want to see them? To visit them is currently the obligation that I am going to fulfill.
Good. Let's get to it then.
Kara gets to her feet and pushes Amelia towards the exit.
I do not understand.
We're going to meet your parents.
Before Amelia can protest, Kara has already led her out the door. The rest of us tail behind. Amelia sighs.
Very well.
Amelia, Zach, and Kara walk ahead, and Liana and I follow. Liana has a strange expression on her face, but I can't quite read.
What do you think her parents are like?
Probably normal. I bet they're just normal people.
I think so too. She grew up at the university and didn't get to spend as much time at home. Most of her behaviors were probably learned from there.
I'm going to save real quick because I do not trust this game. Especially when it glitches out like that. It sounds like Amelia's childhood was a lot more serious than the average child. I wonder if that's why she acted so casually about her parents. Going to see them almost sounded like a chore she had to knock out. We pause in front of a modest house. There's a small garden in front yard as we pop flower pots line the stoop. And we're going to cut it here. I know this is a bit of a cliffhanger, and I know this isn't the longest video I've ever done for Crystalline, but I don't know if you can tell, my sinuses are starting to act up. And before I start talking like this, I'm going to shut this down, go take my medicine, and fuck off for the night, and go to bed. If you enjoyed this episode of Crystalline, I still am angry that they reacted in such a way, and we were going to be shoehorned to that reaction no matter what. So, I'm just a little bit angry. And besides, even Amelia stepped up saying they don't understand her age, so fuck them, I guess. The dating game's hard, and Liana cannot play it. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, share it around, helps it grows the channel, and I really appreciate it. Become a member of the Phoenix today by subscribing to the channel and following me on Twitter. In doing so, you'll never miss when a video goes live, and you'll get to know when I'm going to do something fun. Link to that's in the description below and on the front page of my channel. And with all that said, this has been Black Phoenix with an episode of Crystalline. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.